Back to the Third Space podcast, you guys. It's 5:38 a.m. We're in our garage. This is a fake background. That's a real background that he's got over there, though. That's an actual Chevy Tahoe, not a fake one. And we're talking about what coaches get wrong about connection. I think that this is such an appropriate topic, not only for recent activities that have happened, but every time at a level one, level two, I get the question of, I don't know, I just keep getting the feedback of be a bigger myself or try to be a bigger you or whatever it is. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So we're going to break this up into 4 parts. We're going to talk about how coaching is not cheerleading. We're going to talk about superficial versus authentic connection, the art of seeing somebody actually deeply, when connections become codependent, so looking for the warning signs there, and connection first with yourself and then others, and how to curate that in yourself first so that you can give it to others. So let's start off with why coaching isn't cheerleading.
All right.
We
Well,
talked about this at the level one, but yeah, Brian, please go for it.
I have a graph, and we've talked about this graph a little bit before about where cheerleading actually can live within your lesson plan, but why you're using it strategically. As the class starts at the 0 minute, you should be maximum group management, coaching, presence and attitude, seeing, teaching, correcting. All those things should be at their maximum level. And as you're getting through your 60-minute lesson plan, you can slowly bring in more of a cheerleading like vibe, but you can cheerlead while coaching. So it could be a recognition of an execution of points of performance. Wes, great job keeping your heels down when you caught that power clean. That was awesome, right? That is coaching. It's coaching in the affirmative. You're cheering for that person to do the thing you taught them, a la you coached them just a little while ago. You are still coaching them. You're reinforcing good behavior. And you versus let's look at go. You do the thing. You go for the stuff. Burn it down. That also, in my opinion, has its place. But it's probably on the last round of the last few moments of the thing where if there is intensity left to squeeze out of the particular WOD you're doing, or you're just about to finish, let's call it 20 rep back squat. All right. So like at some point in time, what's not going to land from reps, I don't know, 17 through 20 is not going to be hard adherence to calling for points of performance to be executed. Sometimes you're going to have to say things like, Wes, come on, get that belly tight, dig deep, squeeze out of the bottom, speed through the middle. And then they said, all right, chill. Hey, we got 3 more lifts here, 3 more lifts. Listen to only my voice, right? And then like, imagine these things. You've experienced these things in the CrossFit, in the classroom. This is what fired you up to come back again. But it's not exactly cheerleading for the raw sense of like pom-poms. That's not what you're doing.
It's for performance.
Yeah. So before we get too deep into cheerleading, I don't want to demify it. I don't want to demify.
Good point. It's not like you can never cheerlead.
Yeah, no, it's not a never. It's not a never, but it should be a tool in your toy chest. It should not be your number one. You're just cheerleading people from minute 0 through minute 60 or however long your classes are. Like they should be used authentically. It should be used purposefully, and you should know why you're doing it. I think
right on.
I think as long as you like hit those 3 parameters, I don't see any problems at all. And I think it's what builds lifers for CrossFitters anyway. People might come for like I think I'm supposed to do CrossFit because that's going to get me world-class fitness. I think that this is something I enjoy. But I think there's also a moment where somebody sees you, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, which is so rare in the modern society, that just being seen, regardless of the quality of movement, is what we are selling.
And that's the difference between superficial and authentic connection, right? Is that like you can hype people up, or you can actually, yeah, the first sip, so good. You can hype people up all day long, that's cheerleading, or you can actually know them And that's coaching. The idea is to just create one-on-one connection with somebody while you're standing there and then move on to the next person, create one-on-one connection and then move on to the next person. About every few seconds or so, take a bigger step back, look at the whole community, make sure nothing sticks out to you, and then go back to creating individual connections. This is where I get the athletes that always come to me at the level twos and they're like, yeah, my owner said I need to be a bigger version of myself. I need to be louder. I need to be more energetic. I need to whatever. And I have found objectively that we can take those quiet, calm, introvert coaches and they could become the favorite coach of that gym because they have something most of us don't. They listen. They actually listen.
Gosh. My wife
They'll go
always
up to
gets
you
a
and
high.
ask you, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
My wife, Gabby, L2 trainer, she doesn't coach on the floor very often. Because she wants to do a really good job each class and it drains her and we need her for other roles and responsibilities that at the gym. But she always does get that particular compliment where they're like, I really, really like your classes. And my wife couldn't be more introverted. And
How
she is the
quiet
yeah,
and
my
calm and tiny
yes,
and not a big presence is your wife.
yes, yeah,
Like a
yeah,
tiny little house cat.
for
Oh,
reals though, for
cutest
reals.
little thing.
We're just very opposite human beings, and we do bounce off each other really well, very yin
Yeah,
yang.
yin yang. Totally.
And she gets that particular compliment all the time. I love when you coach Gabby, and she couldn't be more. I mean, she's a badass. Like she's walking around like just like I pick things up, I put them down, and I'm like, good for you.
You know what I noticed about Gabby the second that you walk up to her? Intense
Yeah,
eye contact. She's locked in. She's
yeah.
locked on you. She's watching you. You're moving, she's moving with you. And it's like, I don't think because we live in such a transactional society that we come across people who can create actual connection very often. And Gabby is one of those people. You're one of those people. I like to think I'm one of those people that when somebody approaches me, my immediate goal is to create a connection with that person in some way. And what I'm looking for is a way to create that connection. And in a coaching scenario, your way to create that connection is through coaching the points of performance and the faults. So you see something and you tell somebody you're doing a good job of doing that thing I asked you to do is a connection point. Or you go up to somebody and you go, hey, push your knee out a little bit more to touch my hand. You made like a physical and a mental connection point with that person. Versus if I run around and I go, yeah, Brian, good job. And I go over to Beza, you're fucking crossing it. I'm not creating connection with those people because there was no do this, see the reward, good job, move on. It was just, I'm noticing, okay, see you later. I'm noticing, okay, see you later, which is not connection. So you don't have to actually be a big cheerleader in order to have amazing classes. You need to coach.
One of the worst variations of cheerleading that I've seen is when the reward mechanism twists onto the coach, where it turns into look at me, look what I've done for you, look what I've created, look at this space I'm creating for you,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
and
totally.
then the spectacleness of being too extroverted.
Welcome to my
Yeah, like there's if you are not doing it with purpose so that you can create change for the individual, then all of your rah rah and hoop, like hoorays and all of like the hype music, it will fall on deaf ears, even if you are genuine about it. Because what your athletes are looking for when they're coming into the CrossFit gym, unbeknownst to them, is they're trying to get results. And if you're just there shooting smoke up their butts because they are in your classroom and you can see, or I'm going to presume that you could see that their back is rounded, that their knees are caving in, that their heels are rising at the bottom, that they're not reaching full extension for whatever exercise you're doing, that they're sandbagging a little bit, that they're, like just going through the motions maybe. They could do a little bit more, but you're not advocating for it, but you're just
It
giving
sounds
them.
like they're doing what they would do if they're by themselves in their garage, which is not what they're doing. They're paying you to get a better experience than being in their garage by themselves.
Right, right. But you've definitely seen that. I have personally seen this. I might have even personally done this a time or two of like, sometimes you're just trying to get through what is it, a Friday? I'm going to try to get through
Yeah,
my 3:30 class. I'm just going to get through my 3:30 class because I've got to
but
do a
that's
4:30 and a 5:30.
totally, but that's part of being authentic as a coach is that like it's okay if your energy is low and you're just trying to get through it. It's okay if the athlete's energy is low and they're just trying to get through it, because you can connect with that of recognizing, for example, I got Creechy, who's a nurse who literally comes from his shift straight to here and sometimes has to pull over on the freaking freeway on his way home in order to take a cat nap so that he doesn't fall asleep driving home. But he still comes to the gym. And when he gets there, I do this immediately. I go, where's your energy level at today, Creech? And we do a quick little 1 to 10. And because I understand that he's going to come in some days having a rest day before and feeling amazing, we get to push that day. And some days he's going to come in and he's like, I'm just trying to get through the workout. And I'm like, okay, but I want to know, where you're at. All I'm doing is telling him, I see you. I see how hard you work. I see that you come here after work. I see that you're tired. And I want to make sure that you get through this workout just like you want to make sure you get through this workout. So I think that there is a connection opportunity even there for the people who are mailing it in, sandbagging it, whatever. It's
I actually
why?
I
Why?
actually love, I love when I see individuals who are coming in who know they need to be there, but can't do their best effort. And then I do exactly what you're describing, cheerleading the energy that, or I should say, no, maybe not cheerleading, because we are talking about cheerleading. I want to keep it on brand, but recognize, because this is where coaching leaves the classroom. This is where
Well, I
coaching
think it,
leaves the classroom and turns into a relationship and a mentorship. It's like, I told you consistency, I told you mechanics, consistency, intensity. And while you can have many different doses of intensity types depending on relative to how your day is going, recognizing that you're going to be at a 2 today and that you delivered a 4's level energy, and recognizing that and cheering that on. Like, if you break down the word cheerleading, so to cheer is to like bring happiness to somebody else's experience, right? When you're at a baseball game and you're cheering for somebody, you're not playing baseball. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're baseball fans of the third space, so these baseball analogies happen between the episode. So if I'm a fan of a baseball game, I'm cheering on my team. All right. I'm not playing baseball, but we are part of the experience. Leading. All right. If I'm going to lead, it can't just be moment to moment. I have to have a certain volume of followers who have decided that I am a leader, which is going to allow me the opportunity to do something meaningful for the group, right? To be a leader is not a solo experience. You got to have people that want to go in whatever direction you're choosing to go, right? Now,
mhm.
if you cheer them on as the leader of the classroom experience, well, now we're like getting to the root of what we're talking about today, which is be mindful that you are guiding people in a particular direction in the classroom and then broadly across time. You're saying, I'm gonna get you results. And then if you're gonna do that, then there's going to be moments where you have to lead them through maintaining standards and points of performance. There's going to be moments where you're like, I think you can hold these standards. I want you to go harder. I want you to go faster. And then cheering on the experience of at least trying. And then you can double back down. You can be like, we doubled down on the extra 20 pounds on your power clean just now. I'm not saying that was a mistake. I'm just saying that we now have to take them back off. But
Yeah. Well, it's like I recognize that normally you could do this, but right now you can't. So here's what we're going to do now in the moment. And that's another moment of connection. That's seeing the person, recognizing what their struggle is, and then helping them adapt to that struggle. And I think that the difference would be if you walked up to that person, they're not making a lift, and you go like, all right, we got this. Come on, let's get fired up. And you're slapping them on the back and you're hitting them in the ass and you're getting chalk everywhere. And you're like, come on. And they're just dying. They don't want to do it. Like you are not seeing this person. It's actively seeing somebody and actively listening and actively having the same body language as they do, which
let's talk.
shows that you're listening, right? Like the act of or the art of seeing someone deeply. Let's talk about that.
Yes, this I was like, all right, that's a perfect segue for what you wanted to talk about just a while about. It's like seeing somebody authentically and
Hmm.
body language.
Yeah.
And I have a great example of this. It's one of my favorites, and I don't even think I've ever told her about it, but I have brought it up often. often. So yesterday, sidebar, I went for a 5K at the junior college yesterday, and I'm getting dressed or whatever. And we just the way the day went, we didn't really do a briefing. I did a presentation for the students. I taught the OODA loop, and I didn't know what teachers were at the campus that day yesterday. And one of my coaches is on the college staff with me. And so I've already taken my polo off and I put on my workout shorts. I'm going to go for a 5K run around the campus. And Ashley Baxter, one of my coaches, she's like, oh, she comes through. I was like, oh, Ashley, what's up, dude? And she's like, you going for a run? I was like, I'm going for a run like right now. She's like, can I come with you? I got like a couple of minutes. And I was like, what a great example that is to young firefighters and paramedics and EMT students for like their instructors are on their lunch break going to go run a 5K. They're like, so like I was like, well, this is dope.
Yeah.
And then second, it give us a chance to like run around. And just like kind of be together, just her and I. Then, I'm the affiliate owner. She's one of my coaching staff. We do this extra thing together. It was cool. We're not like,
Together.
yeah, it was great. I loved it. She's way faster than me. My goodness. And so that was a great day. So I love that. But there's a little bit of leading there too. That was cool and super authentic. I loved it. Back to a story about Ashley. So now that you know her as a person, in her early coaching career, which she's still a young coach, less than a year, she comes to me while another coach of ours, Coach Fernando, who is a gangster, she comes to me and I'm at the kiosk and she's like, Brian, I need you to just look at Fernando here for a second. And I was like, all right, I got it. Right. And he's burping pretty slow. And she's like, he can go so much faster. Why is he going that slow? And I was like, Ashley, can you not see that this man is dying on the inside? Like, can you not see
Yeah,
that
it's
he
almost
is
like they
going
don't see a
slow?
human, they just see a movement that needs to happen faster or in this way, but there's not the human behind the movement.
Can you not see that he was going fast and now
Yeah,
he's not going that fast anymore? And it was just a burpee and it was just a moment. And she just wanted to see and how to navigate the situation and how to cheerlead versus coach. And like, but sometimes she does lack a little bit of like, situational awareness, body language communication. That's something that that we're working on.
yeah.
And it was a really funny interaction that I've really held a little close to the chest about like teaching how to read body language is something I'm gonna have to learn how to do. And to be clear, I still haven't figured out how to exactly teach body language to somebody else. But
Somebody taught me this actually a long time ago, is that when you're around somebody, try to match their body language and you'll learn over time what body language is. So when somebody folds their arms, fold your arms.
you fold their
When
arms.
somebody puts their hands by their side, put your hands by your side. When somebody tilts their head, tilt your head. And you're showing them that you are in the conversation with them because you're mirroring what they're doing. You don't want it to be perfect. It's not like you're like, oh, he did, I'm doing it. But
And a stare.
yeah, totally. Just by having that awareness of like, okay, I'm going to try to notice the body language this person's going to have, you would be amazed how fast you will figure out like, oh, that person looks upset. That person looks happy. That person looks like maybe they had a rough day, but it's not too bad. That person looks like an energy will be shown through body language, the way that they're holding themselves and the way that they walk and the way that they look at you in the eyes or don't, or look up or look down. So I think there's lots of tools that we can use, but I think like the most important tool is to look at the person behind the object or the movement instead of looking at the movement. Hey, we're doing a power clean. So I'm watching the power clean. I'm watching the human first behind the power clean. And I'm seeing what does their face look like? What does their body move like? What does their energy look like? And then I'll watch the barbell. What is the barbell doing? Because of the person who's moving it, right? So it's more important to have a connection with the thing that is actually causing the movement than it is to have a connection with the movement itself. We do that through learning body language, knowing their first and last names, understanding if they have kids or not, do they have a stressful job or not. When you understand just a quick little background or a story of who this human is, you have a lot more context of why maybe they look the way that they do or they're moving the way that they do. Like I have way more context with Creechy knowing that like the guy hasn't had a day off in 6 years probably, and he works like at 3 different hospitals. He's just doing the nurse thing. You know what I mean? And
Why do nurses do
time.
that to themselves?
Dude,
My
they
goodness.
freaking literally grind themselves
Why?
into
Why
dirt.
do they
It
do
is
that?
insane. And they like I don't know. I don't know. It's a great question, actually, Todd. Probably a whole nother podcast with another
Yeah.
nurse would be a great thing
I
to
mean,
do about it,
paramedics are the
honestly. But
same way. Paramedics are exact same way. I had to get out of the industry for that exact mentality.
I mean,
For
my
for
theory
things.
behind it is that like you have a bunch of people that are willing to do a stressful situation, like the most stressful situation in the world. They probably have some form of neurodivergence, because it's really not very normal for like somebody who doesn't have ADHD, doesn't have OCD, doesn't have some sort of trauma in their lives to show up to somebody's arm chopped off and be completely calm.
Yeah, no, I don't know why I've got that in me, but I don't. I totally.
But and then so when you're in constant chaos, you actually feel like you're more in control. Then when you're not in chaos and you're in regular life, you feel out of control. So my theory is that nurses, firefighters, cops, paramedics, everybody, they work a lot of overtime and they will always take extra shifts because they feel normal in the chaos. And when they're out of it, they don't feel normal. So getting them into a CrossFit gym is a little bit of chaos. They kind of like it. It kind of feels intense. It kind of
Yeah, that
feels like they're back in it. But if you push them too hard, especially if they're worn down, you're going to get them injured and then they're not going to come back. So it's really important to remember what you said earlier, Ben: mechanics, consistency, and then and only after those two things are there is there intensity. So that means this person needs to move well first and consistently move well before you even think about cheerleading them to add intensity to the thing anyways.
can we pull it back just like expand our time domain a little bit? What do you think it's like to like cheerlead and coach and mentor at a broader scale? So this sort of like brings into the idea of leading across multiple classroom experiences where you really could build rapport and you could be like the Ted Lasso of coaches. Like Ted Lasso was often not looking at his practices or looking at individual games as the sum of his
No, he's
coaching.
fixing showers so
Yeah.
they can have a hot shower, so he can show them that he cares about them as people. When I walk up to my members and I say, "How's Ari doing?" Ari is one of my members' daughters, right? "How's Ari doing?" I saw on Instagram last week that this happened to her arm. "You're my coach. Why do you care about my kid?" Boom, there it is. I think Ben Bergeron calls it emotional bank account deposits. You're trying to make as many emotional bank account deposits as you can every single day. And that has nothing to do with a barbell, a kettlebell, a dumbbell, anything. It has everything to do with their family, their lives, who they are as people, what they're wearing, what their hair looks like now. Did they decide to shave today or not shave today? And how does that, like it's about seeing them as a human the second they walk in the door. And then once they get the barbell on top of them, you can see them as an athlete, I think,
Yeah.
with the human connection.
That has to ring true. Like, do you find that drains you as the affiliate owner leader, or do you feel like it fills your cup? Because I
I think
find
it
that some.
completely depends on who you are, and I think this is what makes good coaches versus bad coaches the same way that talent is what makes good NFL players versus, okay, mediocre NFL players. So you have people who have talent and hard work ethic, they're going to be the best of the best. Then you have people who have hard work ethic but don't have talent. They're going to be the ones that struggle but still do pretty damn good. I think this is the same thing as like an introvert versus an extrovert in the CrossFit affiliate. You got an extrovert who has talent. They basically were given this talent of being an extrovert, of filling their energy up by being around people and learning about them. So fill your cup up and go learn and be around them. But if you're like me and you're an introvert, this is where introverts actually gain energy, is through connection, not through surface. And I think that a lot of introvert coaches go into CrossFit coaching thinking they have to be this like big cheerleader thing that is not them. They don't realize that actually they have an advantage over the extroverts as an introvert because they can create way more connection a lot quicker and a lot easier than an extrovert actually can. An extrovert will want to talk about everything and anything under the sun except for real, personal, heavy topics. That's when they're going to be like, I don't really like this. I just want to have a good time. Let's go over here and have some fun because we're getting too deep right now. But if you take some time to actually talk to people about their struggles and to get to know them and to understand that they are human and they have human struggles, you're connected. And
This is
introverts
where
do that really well.
one of the subjects that we're considering presenting on the third space is something akin to this. But I think we can touch on it a little bit here because I think it rings true, and it's how the CrossFit affiliate can evolve so that we are doing this thing. whatever this thing is. All right. Am I saving lives? Am I optimizing lives? Am I making elite? Am I creating elite fitness? Am I creating world-class health? Like, what is this endeavor I am in my life? And the evolution of what I think the CrossFit affiliate can be when living in this like artificial intelligence hostile takeover, or maybe we're doing it willingly, is genuine human connection. And so how do we, the affiliate owners, Wes and I, we own our affiliates and we have a coaching staff, different sizes and breadth and whatever, it's all good. We are responsible to our coaching staff, who we should be teaching how to create genuine connection. I should have genuine connection with my coaching staff. That genuine connection should permeate across the athletes. I should also be covering the flanks and getting into the bigger, broader, like, who are my athletes? Who are my athletes?
There's the
What am
most
I?
objective thing that you can do to decide if you are doing a good job or not. Is like literally as people walk through your door, do you know their first and last name? Do you know their job? Do you know how many kids they have? Do you know what car they drive? Ask yourself those questions. If you don't know those things, start to get to know those things and see what happens to the connection in the gym.
Yeah,
I
I
guarantee you,
think,
like you go up to your coaches right now and you're like, what's their last name? They're gonna know. They're not gonna know. And it's not a bad thing that they don't know. It's an opportunity to learn more about that person and create a connection. That's really great that they don't know. That means that there's more juice to squeeze out of this thing, right? Like we thought our coach was the best that we could get him. We tried working on all these faults and understand how to see and correct things. And then we go to him and go, hey, what's Bezod's last name? And she's like, oh, I don't know. And immediately in their head, they kind of go like, well, why does that even matter? Because of this right here.
yeah. Well, we're not selling the short game. The CrossFit affiliate owners, we're playing the long game, man. For you to be the best possible cheerleader, you're gonna need time with the individual athlete. So that
Mm-hmm.
I like what we were talking about last time, where you take little notes about whatever happened in that day, so you can come back to a later date. There's an athlete we have, Jen Taylor, and I came up to her the other day. I think she was doing push-ups or burpees. It was one or the other. And I was like, if I told you 18 months ago that this is how fast you would be moving doing this particular exercise, you would have thought I was trying to kill you. And she was doing it all by herself, rocking and rolling, doing the thing. And it was an evaluation of where is her fitness right now, which I can uh, elude, zoom, create a tapestry of like, this is where your health's at right now. What your health is at right now is that you can do 6 to 8 burpees per minute as a thing. It might be, but like, or whatever the number was. For her, they were quick. And this
Connection
is that
building too. Showing
is
them
that
that
cheerleading.
you doing
Like,
this thing is making this thing happen. Good job. You're constantly just making them aware of what's happening. Number one, hey, you're doing this. I want you to do this. And that's showing connection. I was watching you and I'm paying attention. You're letting them know what they're doing well. Hey, I see you doing a good job with this. Keep doing that.
yeah,
And then
that's
you're letting them
cheerleading.
know actually understand who they are as people by like, I know your name, I know your family, I know everything. If you have that, I guess that's kind of like a little trifecta, right? Like if I can walk up to somebody, tell them what they're doing wrong and get them to do it right, there's number one. If I can walk up to somebody and catch something they're doing right in the moment and let them know so that they continue to do right, I think that those are the two bases, right? And then if I could figure out who they are as a person, what's their family like, what's their last name, what do they do for a job? I think that's like the pyramid, the trifecta that will
Yeah.
give you connection with your members. But we have to be careful with this. And I've had this happen to me quite a bit actually. What happens when the connection becomes codependent, right?
Yeah,
And the person just relies on you to give them the energy and they're like sucking the energy out of you.
I struggle with this, and Wes and I have talked about my problems with my inability to protect my own emotional well-being because I want to give so much of
Yeah,
myself to
yours,
others.
but it's ours.
Yeah. I struggle incredibly deeply, and I beat myself up in far too harshly to when I have poor interactions with humans, because generally I'm trying to make whatever experience or wherever I am in life. If I, like last night, we finished up at a softball game, we came home in the house, I looked around, the dishes needed to get done. And like, it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm just going to do these dishes. Like, do I want to do these dishes right now? No. Do they need to get done right now? Not exactly. But if I didn't do them then, they weren't going to get done till God knows what time this evening. And then my house would have had a stinky smell because I had dirty dishes because we have this open concept because the kitchen's going to
Same idea as
permeate.
if hey, I want to work out right now, but I don't want to work out right now, so I go work out instead. And I do the thing, and then afterwards, the next day, it wasn't fun doing it. It wasn't fun doing dishes, I'm sure. But then the
No,
next morning, you wake up and you reap the rewards of a clean sink, of feeling fit, right?
right. So sidebar, I had cheese on my butt from an In-N-Out burger. Just know I had cheese on my butt. All right. And my wife goes, "What did you sit on?" I
It
don't
goes
know.
in there. It
I was
goes
like,
in
I don't
there.
know. It fell on my butt. I was like, I don't know. It was dark. It
You
was
can't
after the
put it
game.
in there.
And so it was like like the
You
sauce and
trying
all
to
that. It's like
boop?
it's on
You
my
trying
butt.
to
It was
boop
on
in
my
and
butt.
out?
And so my wife goes, "Oh, you've got like that's a bad stain." I was like, "All right, cool. I'm just gonna get these dishes done." My mother-in-law comes over. She's like, "You got cheese on your butt." And they do the dishes or whatnot. My 7-year-old son comes over and goes, "Dad, what'd you sit on?" And I was like, "Guys, I'm just trying to live my life. Don't you see I'm trying to do a good job here?" And I'm giving of myself right now to do these dishes, and all you guys can do is talk about this cheese on my butt. It's making me self-conscious. And is this him? Is this him? Is this my son?
Those doors open.
Oh,
I love
check
it,
it out.
dude.
Check it out. Check it out. Come here. Come here.
Cheese on my butt.
Yeah. Liam's birthday today. I'm
Happy
8. I'm 8.
happy
I'm
birthday.
8. 8 years old. 8 years old. I have an 8-year-old. You want to know? You want to? 8 years old. 8 years old. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, bud.
Yeah. I'll be right over there. Okay, kiddo? He's
Awesome.
stoked. Hey, don't open that gift yet. Well, I guess you can. It's your birthday. Whatever. And I give of myself so much that I'll drain myself or I'll read the relationship wrong. I'll think we were here because in my vantage point, I've been giving of myself, so I have some version of respect rapport. I explicitly say when you join my gym that I want to teach you self-responsibility, I want to advocate for you, and I want to mentor you, which is my sub. If I was going to subcategorize that is, I'm gonna instill into you habits. I'm going to advocate for you to do those things, and when you're not quite there, I'm going to call you out on it after a period of time, or I'm going to expose you to things that maybe you're not aware even exist. I'm going to teach self-responsibility. I'm going to advocate. I'm going to mentor.
Because
And
think
then,
about this, you're creating an environment where this person walks in, they know they're going to be advocated for, they know they're going to get amazing coaching, they know that you care about them. And if they don't have many people in their life that do that, wow, this person's amazing. I need to be
right.
around this person more. I need to get more from this person. In fact, you know what? I'm just going to be around the gym all day. I'm not even going to go home. I'm just going to talk to them. I'm just going to, oh, I'm not saying this has ever happened to me, right?
No,
You get these well-intentioned members who have never been around somebody who cares as much as you do. That's just the bottom line. And that's a sad thing to say, but it probably is true. And these people will cling to you like starfish on a freaking pier, and you will not get them off. So it's important, I think, in the beginning to keep this codependency from happening, which will eventually lead to burnout. And you create a culture of like, what did they used to call it? Where it's the idol gym, right? Like, ooh, I only go because of this coach. And if any other
oh
coach is
yeah,
coaching,
cult of
I'm not
personality.
going. Yeah, I'm not going. Like, I care about. So it's important that while you create connection, they don't become codependent on that connection. So you can do things like what I did, which is create office hours. So, hey, during these times, I coach. I don't have time to talk to you in between these classes. Even though there's time in between these classes, my time is taken up. I have office hours on these days between these times. And if you want to talk about anything that has to do with, and I list it, nutrition, fitness, mobility, what's the other one I put in there? Something else, post pregnancy or postpartum or any of that kind of stuff, we are here to talk to you about it. But if you want to talk about relationship stuff, money stuff, other things, I am not your therapist and I can't help you with that. I'm sorry. And please schedule an appointment here if you would like to do that. Oh my God, it has been night and day. I get maybe one or two people that schedule an office hour every once in a while, but those people that used to suck my energy dry, and I'm like not even joking, these people would literally text me 50 times a day, call me 3 times a day, show up at the gym and be around all day. Like it was like, and they're nice people. That's the problem. You can't be rude to them because they're not rude to you. And if they're rude to you, you could just be like, get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? And so it's a problem. And it's this codependency that they have. So I think it's important that right off the bat, when people walk into your gym and they're going through their on ramps or doing the sign up thing, that you let them know, hey, just so you know, you can text me anytime you want, which is this is exactly what I tell people. You can text me anytime I want. It goes to this like Google Voice number thing that I have on my phone. I only look at it at certain times on certain days. So you actually won't be bothering me if you text me. I'm just not going to look at it until it's time for me to look at it, and I'll respond to you when it's that time. So just know that like I'm not going to get back to you right away, and just know that you're not bothering me either if you just send me a bunch of text messages, which is totally true. That thing just sits in an app off to the side, and I check it at certain times every day. Then I tell them, hey, here's my office hours too. If you want to talk about anything that has to do with these things, and then I go like I laugh about it, and I go like because I'm not very good at these things, you know, and I'm not your therapist anyway, so let's not talk about that stuff, you know. And it just sets the expectation of who I am for them and what this gym is going to be for them. And I think sometimes we get so excited and we want these people to be here for so long that maybe, just maybe, we give them just a little too much of ourselves. So
Yeah.
hold on to that piece of yourself for your family, for your friends, for the five people that are closest to you, right? And then make sure you set the boundaries for everybody else. And they need to be very specific.
It's funny when people see me in other jobs. My flight job, and because I spend so much time at the gym, I come in uniform sometimes. Yesterday I had this experience. An athlete that I had that is really finding some real growth, and it's taken him a couple of years to get there. He's like, I didn't even know you had another job. I was like, yeah, man. I'm not even getting rich selling these burpees. We're making so much money around here that I got to have another job.
Man, I heard somebody owns an affiliate the other day. It's a really well-known affiliate that told me how much they were making. And it really made me feel bad about myself. I was like, there's just some people that nail it, you know, they nail the location, they nail the overhead, they nail the structure of marketing and all that kind of stuff. But those are far and few between, you guys. So
Uh,
just so you know, if you're struggling as an affiliate owner and you're like, you know, not making what you used to do in your old job and now you're doing the affiliate thing, I think it's important to remember that, yeah, we gave up a lot of our paycheck, but we gained a lot of our lives.
I 100% agree. I am definitely making the least amount of money I've ever made, but I go to every single one of my kids' ball games.
Yeah.
I play now on a slow pitch softball team. I
I was
never
just
did it.
talking with Meg about this the other day where I'm like, I'm here in the morning making breakfast for my kids. I'm picking them up from school. I'm here when my wife comes home from school at 2:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Most parents leave at 5:30 a.m., travel up to San Jose to work and get home at 5:36, 7 p.m.
Yes,
I'm seeing my kids all the freaking time because of what I get to do. And that's an important thing to do. All right, you got a birthday to go to.
I do. I do. I
And
do. I
it's
do want
almost
to.
been 40 minutes. But
I
please,
do.
yes.
I do want to ring. I do want to end on like a let's wrap it all up sort of way of doing this. And I like this bullseye analogy when it comes to cheerleading. And I'm gonna steal a little bit of it from what I've learned from Jason Fernandez out of Best Hour, and it'll actually ring true a little bit about affiliate ownership. Sometimes people just draw a dot on a whiteboard and or they shoot a bullet. I mean, let me pull the analogy back just a moment. Some people have a target, there's nothing on the target, and they shot at it. And then they say that they're going to be a really good coach and they're going to cheerlead. And it's not that they arbitrarily aimed at that. They didn't really like target where they shot on the paper. But then they say to themselves, I'm going to draw a circle around this bullet hole. I'm going to draw a circle around the circle. And look at this bullseye. Look at this bulls. Look at this bullseye I just shot. Did you see this? This is incredible. I am so good at what I do. I am the best cheerleader. I am the best coach. Look at me. And it was completely arbitrary. What we're
Bullshit.
telling you, what we're telling you is draw the circles. Draw the circles, know why you're doing things, be intentional about your choices, coach with meaning, care purposefully, know your craft, and then when you need to pull out the cheerleader, aim, fire, shoot, bullseye. Those are two very different ways of navigating the classroom or your affiliate or your family life. I think that it might serve you well to just be a little bit more purposeful about when you pull out the cheering and the rah rah.
Love it. Thanks for joining us on the Third Space podcast, you guys. My name is Wes. I'm at a gym called Coast Range CrossFit in Gilroy. This is Brian. He owns a gym in Merced called Midstate CrossFit, and we're here to help you guys with anything affiliate ownership and anything connection wise. So let us know if you guys want to hear about a certain topic or anything like that, or you'd like us to talk about a specific thing, put it in the comments and we'd love to do it. Hit us up on Instagram at the Third Space Podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Later.